This is a problem the government says that they've been hearing about for months, talking to teachers, that they are spending their own money on classroom supplies. So they're going to be giving teachers these classroom supply cards. There's going to be $750 on each of them to buy, basic supplies for classrooms. So there's examples here that the government has put out of what they would like to see teachers buy. There's pencils, markers, crayons, construction paper, but also some basic necessities like boxes of tissues, paper towels, toilet paper, things that it should be given that they're in classrooms. The Premier calling it one of the best things he's ever done for the public education system. Here he is.
I was in a store with my assistant Julia, and where was I? I think it was a Dollarama, and I was in there, and I met a couple educators, and I said hello, and they're picking up school supplies, and they're paying out of their own pocket. And, sure enough, a couple weeks later, same scenario. I met a few teachers, and I offered to pay for them. I think I paid for one, but the others said, no, that's fine. But the days of teachers having to, put their hands in their own pockets to pay for school supplies, those days are done.
So how will this work? Homeroom teachers will get the money this September through a new online portal where they can order supplies directly, things like notebooks, calculators, art materials, even basic necessities. And the government says the goal is to make it easier for teachers to get what they need without paying out of pocket and waiting for reimbursement. The program will cost a total $66 million, and critics call it a Band-Aid solution, arguing it won't make a dent in what educators say is a $6.3 billion funding gap in the system.
Some of your ideas lately, for example, the convention center, the tunnel under the
Great ideas.
Those are going to cost billions of dollars.
Great ideas.
And I know a lot of teachers, educators are wondering why there is money for those projects when classrooms aren't even getting their basic supplies like toilet paper and paper towels.
Let's address that. You're talking about educators, go on the 401 any time of the day. It's going to take them an hour to get across the city, which is unacceptable. So there's two types of politicians, in my opinion. Ones that sit there and look day by day, budget by budget, which is important to look at budgets every year. And then there's visionaries that plan for 50 years down the road.
So union leaders were also at Queen's Park for an unrelated press conference today, and here's what they had to say about the announcement.
Certainly any investment in education is well received. I think our members will be happy to have some sort of investment, but I would say generally that the government is trying to make us believe that this is a gift that's being given prior to what is going to be probably a very contentious round of central bargaining. And we shouldn't be looking at Kleenex, paper towel, pencils, pens, and paper stationery as gifts. These things should be an automatic in education. We shouldn't even be talking about this. This should be a foregone conclusion. But because of $6.3 billion in cuts, we are talking about this.
So again, this program will begin in September. It's a bit of a pre-budget announcement. We know that it will be included in the upcoming budget that will be tabled on March 26th. By the way, this was our first opportunity to ask the education minister if there are any updates on any decisions he's made about trustees. He was asked directly if they will be included on the ballot for this year's municipal elections. He said everything's on the table and no final decisions have been made yet.